All right, so yesterday I made a short on the top 5 US presidents of all time, in my opinion. So I've decided to make a full length video and dive a lot deeper into this topic. History is something that I've always been passionate about. It is something that I have always enjoyed pursuing on my own time. It is always something I've enjoyed self educating myself on. And I think in the time in the world that we live in right now, where we have access to so much information with the internet, it is a perfect time to be able to look back on history, and we have all this information and all this archived history that we can go through and look and see pretty much everything, at least anything that's written down in any scriptures or anything that's been recorded. And to me, that's very interesting. But anyway, but coming back to this, the top 5 presidents of the United States. First of all, let me preface this by saying a few things. This is not objectively the best 5 presidents in the United States. It is subjectively my favorite 5 presidents of the United States. Well, they are the 5 presidents I think that are the best in the United States based on what my policies are and what my beliefs are. A lot of people are going to disagree with these. A lot of these picks are not in anybody's top 5, probably aren't anybody's top 10 or even top 20. So there's going to be a couple surprises in there for you, but I think it's fun. I think we're going to dive in deep. We're going to find out what was great about these guys and also a little bit about their downsides. So let's get into it with number 5, Mr. 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 Andrew Jackson.
Mr. Andrew Jackson, born March 15th, 1776. Mr. Andrew Jackson, born in between the border of North and South Carolina, because the precise border and area was disputed at the time of his birth. Both North and South Carolina claim to be his birthplace. Honestly, who cares? If you've been to one Carolina, you've been to them all. Andrew Jackson was truly the first people's president. He ran on Jacksonian policies that had never been seen at the national level before. He attacked the banks, broke up oligarchies, and passed numerous laws to improve prosperity and lifestyle of American farmers. Jackson was famously
Number 3
pretty
is one of my
hot-headed,
favorite
maybe kind of
wig-wearing
like less crazy
fellows,
Alex
named
Jones of
by
today.
a guy.
The guy was in over
by the
30
name
dang
of
duels.
Thomas
Yes, duels,
Jefferson.
where guys would walk away from each other, turn around, point a gun at each other, and then take turns shooting at each other. He survived over 30 of these duels, and after he died, they found over 8 bullets in his dead body. Jackson also famously balanced the federal budget, a feat that only 2 presidents in history have ever achieved. But Jackson's most badass moment came during the War of 1812, when he led his army down to New Orleans to fight off the British in the biggest battle of the War of 1812. This single act saved a country that was still in the infancy at its time. Without Jackson, America dies in 1812. He does have detractors with the Trail of Tears and slaves, but I have been to the...
There might be only one guy on the list more of a manly man than Andrew Jackson, and that man's name is Teddy Roosevelt. Number 4.
Teddy, oh Teddy. Teddy Roosevelt, no, not his cousin, Franklin Roosevelt, the cousin-banging cripple. We're talking about Teddy, the most manly president of all time, even though I'm pretty sure I've already said that before. A sickly child with debilitating asthma, Roosevelt overcame health problems through a regime of vigorous exercise, which included such tasks as wrestling black bears and smoking cigars to increase his lung capacity. This is 100% factual. He really did have asthma, though. Teddy came into the office with absolute intention of getting things done. He immediately went after corrupt trusts involving mainly railroads and other big money-making industries. Along with Jackson, he was a people's president who wanted to restore things back to the days before corporate greed, if only he would have succeeded. Aside from that, Teddy focused a ton of his time on ensuring that we could preserve important national parks and monuments such as Yellowstone and Yosemite Park. He also championed the effort in finalizing the Panama Canal, which improved not only perception of the Navy, which was growing quickly under the time of Roosevelt, but helped stabilize the economy as well. He also famously had the Navy do a little sightseeing tour around the Pacific Ocean just to show off how dominant the Navy had become under his control. This speaks to his true character and his saying, "Talk softly, but always carry a big stick." Detractors, he didn't have many. However, later on in his career, he broke away from the Republican Party to start his own.
Number 3 is one of my favorite wig-wearing fellows, named by a guy by the name of Thomas Jefferson.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Thomas Jefferson, born April 2nd, 1769, and infamously passing away on 4th of July, was, in my opinion, the first president to truly understand the job and what he could and could not get done under the framework of the Constitution. Honestly, if I was being truthful with myself, I would have rated Jefferson even higher. The man attributed with outlining what our government would look like for years to come, while also viciously fighting against any type of monarchy or elitist class. He even believed slavery to be completely immoral and thought God would not approve of the practice whatsoever, which was almost blasphemous for a man of his position at the time. He infamously pulled the rug right out from Napoleon's little ass, acquiring the Louisiana Purchase for about a tenth of what it was actually worth. After this, he immediately sent Lewis and Clark out on an expedition to explore the new lands. To me, Thomas Jefferson was the perfect president for the perfect time period. Detractors, he did do some shady things behind the scenes, but you can do your own research and find out about the little SEX tape on your own.
Number 2, George Washington. Nothing else to say.
The man who would many call number 1, the man who I'm going to call number 2, at least on this list. George Washington, born February 2nd, 1732, was, as you know, or at least I hope you know, I don't know why you would click on this video if you didn't know, but he is our very first president. Now, I think a lot of notoriety and attention is given to Washington, obviously because he was the first president. But what people don't usually know is that there really wasn't even a position of president at that time. The war had just ended, a new country was just born and founded on ideas of freedom and democracy that the world had never seen before. No one knew how to take the next step. The only thing everyone did agree on was that Washington would be their leader. Perhaps his most commendable and truly patriotic moments came when he refused the position of king, even getting mad at the idea. He also stepped down after a short 4-year stint, forever setting the precedent that a president should not hold power for too long. Washington's greatest accomplishment was holding together a country that wasn't even a country yet. The founding father that flawlessly raised the infant into the giant it is today. Detractors, $1 bill means nothing anymore. I remember when I used to get a couple dollar bills from my mom, and it actually meant something. Now we can't even afford to make pennies. And number 1, guys, it's gotta be Double C. I know this is surprising a ton of people. I know the comment section is exploding right now. Some of you probably don't even know who Double C is, so let me give you a brief synopsis. Calvin Coolidge, born on 4th of July, 1872, the only president to be born on the 4th of July. Calvin had a somber, quite frankly, boring life. He was an extraordinarily shy and observant child who rarely spoke but seemed to absorb information like a sponge. After finding his way into politics, he began his slow climb up the ladder. He never wanted to be president, but he was called in the middle of the night to be sworn into office due to President Harding suddenly dying in a heart attack. As soon as he hit the office, taxes were cut left, right, everywhere, and center. In 1924, he passed the Revenue Act reducing taxation across the board by over 15%. This resulted in immediate economic and industrial growth like the world had never seen before. He was also president when the amendment passed allowing women to vote, and was a devout Christian who did not support slavery. What made Calvin amazing was he understood the assignment. The president isn't about being the main character. It's not about having the biggest ego in the room. It's not even about being correct all the time. Coolidge thrived because he took a backseat approach to governing. Instead of pushing for more bills to overcorrect mistakes, he opted to strip things down to the bone and let the market drive the economy. And oh boy, is that exactly what it did. The United States completely exploded during the 20s under Coolidge as the country experienced a tremendous surge of both culture and economic growth. It was truly the greatest time to be an American. And remember, if anyone ever tells you at a party or dares you to say more than 3 words, just tell them you lose.